Yo, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Once again, it's your friend. It's your man in 100 grand. It's Doc G. And I just wanted to talk about I just really wanted to discuss what it is to work with women. Look here, I have worked with a plethora of women in my lifetime. Some of them were really fucking cool, man. Some of them were really cool. I ain't even gonna lie, and some of them I'm still down with to this day. But for the most part, let's keep it 100, man. Let's keep it a buck, man. Women at the workplace usually they usually get in their feelings about a lot of things. They get in their feelings about a lot of things. And it's crazy because you know they be out here, you know, all extra woke and shit. And it's crazy because you know a motherfucker that worked at as a person that worked in HR before. Keep in mind, it's a nightmare having women in the workplace sometime, man. Because you got to implement all of these motherfucking policies, all these woke ass policies that basically tell people that, well, you're not supposed to really talk to women like that because, you could really be in fucking jeopardy of, some Me Too shit. It's fucking crazy. And then aside from that, women usually don't work as hard as men. It's been statistically proven that women don't work as hard as men. Because women ask for maternity leave a lot. They ask for maternity leave. Some women actually ask for leave because of their periods. Some women ask for leave because of stress. Some women ask for leave because of their bastard motherfucking kids. It's like it's fucking insane because most men, they don't have that shit going on. Most men try to work long hours. Most men try to go the extra mile. Most men aren't really going on leave like that. It's been statistically fucking proven. And then women on top of that, they cry and they cry and they cry and they cry and they fucking cry when it comes to what they need, at the job. Like, for example, I told you, I used to be a hospital corpsman when I was in the Navy. I used to be basically a paramedic. And I remember I was working with this white girl, this little dainty ass white girl named Lonaville. This girl looked like she was a fucking kid, basically, Now, keep in mind, this woman went to medical school just like I did. She got the same training that I did. But keep in mind, this is, I went to that hospital. I started working in a hospital in Spain when I started working with this white girl, right? And by the time I went to that hospital, I had 4 years of experience as a combat paramedic, which means I really knew my shit. You know what I'm saying? I was really good at my fucking job. I was so good at my job that they had me working in family practice. They had me working in the ER. They had me working in peds with the children, and they had me working in aviation medicine. So I was good. You know what I'm saying? I knew how to do procedures on my own. I knew how to do IVs. I knew how to cut out ingrown toenails. I knew how to motherfucking, I knew how to start pick lines. I knew how to do all of that shit, I knew how to do sutures, all that shit by myself. And I didn't need any assistance. And this is 4 years into my career in the military. Now, by the time I had 4 years in and 4 years of combat experience, I was a salty motherfucker at 4 years. So I went to that hospital in Spain, and I started working with this little white girl in aviation medicine. And this little white girl probably had maybe 2 years experience as a medic. So that means she didn't know how to do shit, basically. She went to fucking medical school just like me. But like most of the women that I worked with, I'm sorry, she just wasn't good at her fucking job. Every time she had a patient that needed a certain procedure done on them, she would always ask me for help. She would always ask me for help. And, you know, and I would help her sometimes, but she started to do this shit on a routine fucking basis. She started to do this on a routine basis. And when I'm telling you this, once she started doing that shit, I was like, look here, you got to stop asking me for so much help. I got my own patients I got to deal with. Why do I have to help you with all of your fucking patients? You know, you went to school just like I did. I mean, I could teach you a procedure if you need, but you know, if you don't know how to do a procedure, you shouldn't be working here. And then, you know, she started crying and shit. And, you know, and I ultimately got in trouble because I told her that I don't want to help her with all of her goddamn patients anymore. I'm the one that got chewed out. I'm the one that got chewed out because she didn't know how to do her fucking job. So there's that. You know, and then you got this other time where I worked in a hospital in Miami when I was working with you know, when I was working at a hospital there at the emergency department. And I was working phlebotomy, drawing blood and shit. And it was this one woman that I worked, I mean, it was a department full of fucking women, you know, go figure on that. But it was this one woman that I worked with. She was the department head. Her name was Sandra. And let's just put it like this. She didn't know her fucking job at all. She did not know her motherfucking job. Keep in mind, we had a patient that came in there that was a World War II veteran. This guy was 98 years old. So when you got a patient that old, they usually have really loose veins. You know? Now keep in mind, the department head, this bitch had to be at least 10 years older than me. Still working phlebotomy. Go figure on that, right? And she's the department head of phlebotomy, you know, drawing blood. She fucking took this patient that was a World War II veteran, 98-year-old man, and she tried to stick that vein and try to get blood out of it. She couldn't get it. She stuck this guy 4 times. The legal limit for sticking a patient is twice. And if you don't get the fucking blood on the second try, you have to pass that patient off to another provider. But this motherfucking woman illegally did 4 shots on this fucking 98-year-old poor old man. And I saw this shit and I was like, hey, Sandra, you need some help? I mean, you shot the guy 4 times. You put the needle in him 4 times. And of course, women can't be professional about shit. She had to take it personal. And she was like, oh, you think you could do better? You think you could do better? Let's see what you can do. She didn't know how much skill I got. It's a reason they call me Doc G. Because I got fucking skill. All right. So I was like, all right, bet. Give me the patient. You know what I'm saying? So I got the patient. And I know tricks of the trade that these civilian bitches don't know when it comes to medical shit. So I put a tourniquet above the vein, a tourniquet below the vein, and boom, 3 veins stuck out automatically. And then I took the needle. I took a 22 gauge butterfly needle. I stuck this guy in the arm, and automatically, boom, I got 7 tubes of blood out of this guy. So I basically made her ass look like a fool in front of everybody. Now, this woman is supposed to be the department head. She's supposed to be the leader. She's supposed to be the one when it comes to skill and knowing what the fuck to do. But here's the thing. Never send a woman to do a man's job. I'm sorry. Never send a fucking emotional having ass woman to do the job of a motherfucking man. Shout out to the women that actually handle their business. But to the women that use their fucking sexual wiles and their feelings and all that bullshit, fuck them. So here's the thing. I motherfucking stuck that patient. I got 7 tubes of blood out of him on the first try, when this bitch couldn't get 1 tube of blood out of him on 4 tries. So she was like livid at me. She was just, you could tell she didn't like my ass. After that shit, ever since that day, she tried everything she could to make my life a living hell until I left that job, until I got fired. You know, she would nitpick at everything that I did. Like, you know, if I had like any slight tone of voice that she didn't like, she would write a conduct shit or some shit and send it up, you know, to admin behind my back. If I was maybe 2 minutes, and I really do mean 2 minutes, if I was 2 minutes late, she would write that shit up and she would send it up. And she would keep doing this shit and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until it added up. And ultimately, I had to leave that job, not due to lack of skill, mind you. I had to leave that job because of all the conduct shits that were written up behind my back, because this bitch had a vendetta against me. So there's that. So I got fired from a job, not because of my lack of skill. I got fired from that job because she didn't know how to do her fucking job, and I knew how to do her job better than her. So I got let go from that job as a phlebotomist there. You know? And then let's talk about when I was working in HR. I was working in HR, you know, as an HR assistant, you know, working from home, working for the VA of all places, and their fucking shit. Let's not talk about how much illegal shit that those pieces of shit get away with on a regular basis. So I was an HR assistant. I did my thing. You know, I was pretty decent at my motherfucking job. You know, I was good. So good that I actually was teaching classes at a point. You know? And I was doing functional statements, which is like, you know, some type of paperwork that we do for HR. And it was this one woman that was that was part of the chain that didn't, you know, that kept bullshitting, that kept holding up the functional statements. And I was like, you know, and I simply sent her an email. I was like, hey, can you please send me the functional statements? I need to get these done because we need to continue the process. And of course, this bitch got in her emotions. And she started, you know, she started motherfucking sending me a fucking 3-page email ranting about, well, you don't know how that makes me feel. And I'm better at my job than you say I am, and blah, blah, blah. She made it totally something that it didn't need to be. And because of that bitch, I got let go from that job too. Man, let me tell you something. The worst thing that ever could have happened is letting women as a whole join the workforce. The worst thing that ever could have ever happened in society was allowing women to join the workforce overall. Because ever since women joined the workforce, you know, you got to walk on eggshells. You got to be more woke. You got to goddamn tiptoe around bullshit. You got to motherfucking be sensitive to people's needs and shit without getting the job done because people's motherfucking feelings and shit, right? The worst thing that ever could have happened was allowing women to be on the workforce. And hell, look what it's done to fucking families and relationships nowadays. Allowing women on the workforce has caused an imbalance between male and female relationships. Because back in the day, when women weren't allowed on the workforce, guess what? Back in the day, man, yo, you could you could provide for your family and your woman wasn't motherfucking tripping about washing dishes or cooking a meal or no shit like that. And everything was right as far as that goes. But ever since you started motherfucking ever since they started allowing women to work in the workforce, I mean, you know, single parent households have risen significantly. HR complaints at the workplace have risen significantly. You know, prior to women working in the workforce, none of this shit was an issue. Prior to allowing women to work in a fucking workforce, let me tell you something. None of this shit was a fucking issue. You know, working with women, because when I worked with men, I haven't had these issues. I haven't gotten fired because some man was in his feelings. I could tell a man, hey man, you know, you got to tighten up, man. You got to motherfucking, you know, you got to handle your business with this job shit, man. I mean, I can help you out if you need help, but you got to tighten up, bro. Like, as a man, you know, and you work with other men, we understand that we got to fucking accomplish the mission. Women, on the other hand, it's about, I feel this and I feel that, and you, the way you make me feel, and oh, you know, and being woke and all that bullshit, man. Fuck these bitches, man. Real talk. I hate working with women for the most part. I really fucking do. And Lord forbid you got a fucking female boss. Oh my fucking God, man. If you have a female supervisor, man, I can't count how many fucking female supervisors who I know that slept their way to the top like Kamala Harris did. I mean, let's keep it a whole 100. You know, them female bosses, they really be feeling themselves and they be taking out their anger on men. They be taking that out on the men at their job. Which I really find hypocritical, because men are supposed to be so woke towards women, but women can treat men any type of way they want on the job. Real talk, man. You know, I really don't know what to fucking say as it pertains to that shit, but I would never fucking understand the fucking mindset of these motherfucking women out here that be at the workplace and be out here trying to motherfucking fuck shit up. And then you got women to be out here trying to goddamn dig through your personal shit so they can send it to your supervisor and shit so they can get you fired. You know, these fucking Karens. I tell you, man, just working with women is a chore. I'll be with women, I will date women, but man, working with them, I really don't know. I mean, like I said, there's some women who I worked with, man, they some hard chargers. And to those women, I salute the shit out of them. But most of them, yo, they ain't about that life. They ain't built for this shit. Let's keep it real. But anyway, man, you know, I just had to, you know, speak my piece on women working me working with women and why that kind of fucking sucks and how women have basically helped destroy some of my careers. Because, you know, it's all about feelings and shit. It ain't about getting the job done. It's about how they feel. And this is why the effectiveness of certain companies have gone down the toilet. I mean, there have been surveys done where women themselves have said that they don't feel comfortable being supervised by other women. Women themselves have said this shit. Women themselves in a survey have fucking proven that they would rather work for a man because a man takes his feelings out of this shit. Well, most of us, man, unless you talking about those bitch ass dudes. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that, man. Once again, it's your friend, it's your man, 100 grand, your mama's favorite side piece, and your sister's boyfriend, Doc G, signing out. Holla at your boy. Peace.